Anyway, as promised, I was going to give a walk around. So, front fairing with the dark UV, the accents for the plastic on the purple, the Black Widow exhaust, and then I do have Shad 3PL or 3P luggage because I can, with my work and my job and everything. Here's a better look at the purple in the sunlight. I can start her up here in a second. Give you a sound of the exhaust. You can hear the tone of the exhaust. Here's a little rev for you. And there we be. Let's get on the road. Go see the wife. I haven't gotten the new Ricka gloves yet. So these are my old street and steel gloves that I got a couple of seasons now. They've worked out really well for summertime weather. And off we go. Phone disconnected. I don't have my phone, I don't think. That might be a problem. You know, it's funny thinking about how far you've come or where you started from almost. Like I didn't start out typical for a motorcyclist. I got into the game late, like I said, around my 30th birthday, a little bit after, I think. I started getting into motorcycling. I want to say what 2000, what 13, 15. I think it might have been 2015. So yeah, about 11 years ago. Anyway, like I was working for the motor company. I worked at the manufacturing plant in Pennsylvania, and I always wanted to ride motorcycles. I always wanted to, feel the experience whenever I was a kid. But I, I'm almost happy that I didn't because I learned what to do and what not to do, and I was more mature uh, when I got back on the bike. Uh, I mean, when I got on the bike the first time, I knew what to do, and just not to be know, a 21, 22-year old on a motorcycle. Just I have a respect for the engine. I have respect for the bike. I have a respect for the art of motorcycling, and how you have to be on your toes and concentrate and make sure that you're following what's going on around you because one false move and you're splat on the highway. And just for that reason alone, like I'm happy that I learned that at an older age. Like, yeah, I missed out on a lot of riding when I was a kid or whenever I was in my 20s, but I'm making up for it now with the rides that I do. But I just thought the the more power, the bigger the engine, the faster, bigger the bike, the better rider you are because you can toss it around. And I watch the guys on YouTube, and being working at Harley, you see the police guys on their ultras and their bikes doing the courses. And when I first started, I got my teeth on a 2016 48, and I was really, it was a lot of bike. I mean, for a beginner, I mean, for 1200, a lot of people are are just getting, 500 cc's, 400s, and, I'd go right into it at 1200 with a sports surf. But, it helped me understand like what to do, what not to do, and, respect a lot of the things of it's not going to turn the way that like the Eliminator turns now, or like, whenever you have to respect the ride. But I guess where I'm going with this is, I've gradually increased the CCs over time, and I then just sort of backed off. Like, I guess that to me, I enjoy, you know, my 850 Moto Guzzi V85 TT. Like, to me, that's perfect to me. Like, I would love to try one of the new Tiger or the Trident 800, because like I like an 800. Um, I love the Eliminator right here for the 451. They rounded up. I don't know why they rounded up so much, but just the way that the engine is, and it's fun to just toss around. Like the KLR, like people look at me like I'm insane whenever I like have fun with my thumper. The just the 650 there. I mean, it's more fun to me to have those kind of bikes to ride than something so massive. Like I had an Ultra, like I think it was a 18 Ultra. That was a I know it had the Milwaukee 8, and I took it out to Sturgis with my son, and it was just it's a lot of bike. Like at the end of the day, I was exhausted. Like, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a weakling or anything, but I mean, it takes a lot out of you whenever you're keeping up that pretty much ton of a bike upright, going 75, 80 out on the highway up the Sturgis, and then like you got to come down to go down to your campground or get off the highway, and then you're starting to go to the back roads of Sturgis and things like that, and you know it's just exhausting to do. And that's whenever I got rid of my Ultra, and I only had my street triple at the time, the 765 RS, which I always kicked myself in the butt for getting rid of. But you know, I had that for the longest time just because it felt more comfortable on the smaller bikes. And then whenever I got my Guzzi, uh, that to me, she just fits like a glove. Like just the way that the engine is, the way that the weight is for that. Just excuse me, the way that she rides and handles. It's one of those bikes that I just I can't see myself ever getting rid of my Guzzi. Uh, and I mean, some people will be like, "Well, you have a V Star 1300 now. That's a pretty big bike." Like, yeah, it's a big bike. It's 1300, but it's not like the Milwaukee 8s that are out there, or the 111s from Indian, or I mean, it's almost funny to think that that has a 1300 in it, my V Star, and I started out on a Sportster 1200. I mean, you only went up 100 cc's, and it's that much bigger and allows a lot more comfort for a tour. But I guess it's just the way that I like to ride, and I know other people love to ride different ways, and some people might say, how I ride is, not good compared to how other people ride. But like I'm not trying to win any awards. I try and be safe. I try and understand the capabilities of the bike. I make sure to see what's going on around me, and, make sure to gear up all the time. Um, little bikes, shouldn't be scoffed at. Hell, there was if I had a chance, I was going to try and get one of the new Duke 2 the new Duke 250s to take back and forth to work just for the gas mileage alone. Um, you know, just a 250 thumper that's back and forth uh, on my commute. I think it gets like 99 miles to a gallon. I mean, hell, that could get me back and forth to work, I think 4 or 5 times. Uh, I mean, the Eliminator here, she does a good job, but the gas tank's very small. And, that's no fault of hers. It's no fault of the bike itself. It's just, you know, how it is. But I think it's funny just the way that you know, I grew up on the Harleys. I had like I said, I started with my Sportster. I went to a V Rod. Uh, After my V Rod, I got a Road King, and yeah, I love my Road King. Like I took my Road King everywhere I possibly could. She was just she was at the time she was everything that you know I needed in a bike because she had the bags, she had plenty of storage, she had plenty of uh, comfort. I put D bars on her, put lowers on her, help out with the wind protection. I took her to Sturgis, took her to Wisconsin a few times. Uh, just all around the East Coast, I took my road king. And working at the motor company was nice because I was able to use the owner or the employee ownership program and be able to have bikes as well. So like it didn't hurt as much as it sounds like it's from a financial standpoint, but in the long run, uh, I'm in a lot more comfortable place with where I'm at on on my bikes than life, and like I'm a whole lot happier. Like I know motorcycling's supposed to be happy and serious. Maybe some people take it too serious or think that it's this, that, or the other thing. But like, yeah, I loved riding my Harleys, but I think and looking back on it in hindsight's 2020, like I have a lot more fun riding the heck out of the Eliminator here or riding the heck out of my KLR. You know, it's it was more of a experience, I guess, taking the KLR out to Indiana than I thought it was. Not because of the weather or anything, but the last time I went on a multi-state trip, I took my Uzi, and I know how she reacts to a multi-state trip. So, like taking a new bike on different roads for that long of a period, it's a learning curve for yourself because you're trying to understand what the bike's going to do, what the bike's capable of, if you're going to run into anything, then throw on the weather and everything else, and you got
Got that
yourself a little adventure
sunshine
brewing.
on my face.